Zombies! Michelle, Phan, JKISSA, and I are bringing you this epic Tokyo Ghoul-inspired collab. And I have the honor of teaching you some badass face paint to go with the badass, part human, part ghoul Kaneki. Shall we? The first step is always to dance. There's a lot more of that in this tutorial than usual, but don't question it. I was just a dancing queen that day. Okay, anyway. Hi guys! Makeup. Yes, to the makeup. Why you're all here. I am using water-activated paints, but you can also use alcohol-activated paints or cream paints. I definitely recommend water-activated paints because it's the perfect in-between of long-lasting and on the more inexpensive side. The first order of business is to create a general outline of Kaneki's ghoul mask. I'm using black to do this because his mask is black, but you can use a lighter color first if it would make you more comfortable. The best advice I can give you for the outline is to look at as many reference pictures as you can like these, and then you just want to lay down the main components of the mask, like the part that comes up over the nose, the upper portion that goes across the head to the right eye. Side note, I like to draw out the square that will eventually be highlighted with white just to make sure I have enough room later. Also outline the space for the mouth/teeth, the bolts, which are technically on his neck, but I'm placing them on the side of my face for more visibility and because it's an area that will get less disturbed than on the neck. And then quickly mark how low your mask will need to go for you to finish at a safe distance underneath of your collar. And if in the process of painting your sexy Kaneki wig gets in the way, take it off, Baywatch style. Okay, moving along. Let's fill her in. After the outline, you want to start filling in all of your major colors, which include mostly black, red, white, and a little bit of silver. If you find yourself looking like a pirate along the way, you're probably doing it right. Arrgh, I'd be a pirate! I'm starting with the mask that needs to be filled in with black. Remember to check your reference picture of Kaneki to make sure you're filling in the spots that should be filled in. If you go too ham and you get black in a spot you're not supposed to, don't fret. You can rub it off with some water if it's really bad, or take foundation on a brush to cover it back up. Better. When the black's all filled in, I head to the mouth area and start by laying down a rectangle of white where the teeth will go. You could do this after you've outlined the teeth, but I prefer to do it first because the less painting with white inside of the black I can choose to do, the brighter the white will usually come out. Then I outline the teeths, and believe me, this is easily the most difficult part of the look. The teeth on his mask are very even in terms of size and spacing, so you really want to make sure you take your time with this part to get them as clean as possible. Make sure you outline a thin area between the upper and lower teeth that will be our zipper. It's also very difficult to get this straight over a curved surface like the lips, and you'll see that I end up going back and fixing it a few times, but it's very easy to finesse things with water paint. That extends to thinning or cleaning up black lines by painting over top of them with white paint. I did this a few times too to shape the teeth properly. When you've got the most nerve-wracking part of the look down, it's back to smooth sailing by filling in the rest of the mouth area with red. And then filling in the zipper with silver. And don't forget to add a little zipper puller thing detail to the end of one side. Fill in your bolts with silver as well, and then it's time for the fun part, highlighting. This is the step that really brings the mask to life. And JKISSA crashing my filming, that brings everything to life. But yes, so, rather than tell you where to highlight step by step, I'm going to tell you the general process for doing so, and then you can follow mine exactly, or you can decide where you think is best to highlight. Taking white, I'm putting that in places that I want to appear raised. The way you highlight your cheeks in beauty makeup so they look raised and therefore make your face look more dimensional and less flat. That's what we're doing all over the mask, making it look less flat by tricking the eye into thinking what parts of the mask are raised. So the high points of the face, like the top of the nose, forehead, cheeks, etc., are getting the highlight treatment. To do that, I'm running white paint along the area, tapping it out with my finger while it's still wet, and then repeating the process until the light areas are sort of tapered out. I'll do one last highlight on top without tapping it so that part's extra bright. The hardest part of this is where the eye patch is, which you create entirely out of the highlight. But if you focus on roughly creating an X in the center of the square patch and follow some reference pictures, you should be able to get something that looks good. Keep in mind too that illusion type makeup like this will sometimes only work looking from one perspective. In this case, that's straight on. The X will not line up between my eyelid and underneath of my eye from any other angle than the one that I drew it from. Even closing my eye more than how it was when I drew it can throw off the illusion here, so make sure you take your time and you draw it on the way that you're expecting it to be seen most. I also do some highlighting around the edges of the mask to bring a little dimension to those areas. Don't neglect the neck, and then it's on to highlighting and shading other areas. I'm dabbing small amounts of white under each tooth and patting it out like before to give the mouth the appearance of dimension. And then I'm splitting each bolt down the middle with black paint and tapping around the area to simulate some shadows. Now that you're sufficiently covered in paint, there's 2 more finishing touches. Using some silver paint and a tiny brush, I'm sitting the brush directly onto my face and then spinning it to create little bolts in each corner of the eye patch and on both sides of the top of the nose. Then to mimic Kaneki's gigantic ghoul eye a little better, I'm topping it all off with a tremendously huge cat eyeliner. We can't even call this a cat eyeliner anymore, this is like an elephant liner, but feel free to skip this step if you have a full sclera contact in instead. And that's it for Kaneki.